If you've got loads that are frequency sensitive, you'll destroy them.
Hello and welcome to another one of our Ask the Expert series here at BoatHowTo. We're Nigel and Jan, and we're answering your questions. So, here's today's question. I know European boats have different AC electrical configurations to US boats. I'm told you can't plug in a European boat in the US and vice versa. But I see sailors voyaging from one to the other without having their boats rewired and their appliance replaced. What is the difference between a US specification and a European specification? Well, mostly voltage.
Well, voltage and
frequency.
Yeah. The standard voltage from a wall outlet in the US is 120 volts and in Europe is 240. That means that in the States you have twice as many amps for a given power level at a device. So then the wiring has to be bigger to handle the amps. So that's one issue. So, but we'll assume in this case that this is an American boat going to Europe. So there's no issues with the size of the wiring because the American wiring will have been heavier than what's needed in Europe. So then we get to the frequency issue. In the States, the frequency is 60 cycles a second, and in Europe it's 50.
50, yeah.
And if you've got resistive loads like a toaster or a water heater, they don't care. If you've got loads that are frequency sensitive, you'll destroy them. So fundamentally, it's down to whether the equipment on the boat can handle the voltage shift and the frequency shift. Typically speaking, it won't be able to handle the voltage shift, but you can deal with that with the transformer, but the transformer doesn't change the frequency. So then we've got to address that issue.
So basically, like if you have a normal shore power system, yeah, it's not really feasible, or only really with really expensive equipment.
No, voltage and frequency converters, and they're big and heavy and expensive. There is quite a lot of AC equipment coming on the market now that will handle both 50 and 60 cycle frequencies. So we've got much more versatility than we had 10 or 15, 20 years ago. But then the trick is basically to disconnect the shore power cord from the boat's AC system by having the shore power charge a battery charger and having the battery charger feed an inverter and then have all of the AC systems on the boat run off the inverter. And that way it doesn't matter where you go and plug in, as long as the battery charger can handle the change in voltage and frequency, which many marine chargers can, the boat is still running off the same inverter at the same voltage and frequency that the inverter puts out. And so then you don't have to change anything on the boat.
So you kind of create this little island with the wrong frequency and voltage in foreign waters. And
it works fine. I've been doing it for 20 years now. But the key to this is to have a battery charger that will accept the voltage and frequency wherever you are, universal import, just like a modern laptop or a phone charger or whatever. And then also to make sure that the battery charger and the inverter are powerful enough to collectively handle the AC loads on the boat.
I mean, a little downside is that you will lose some, like it's not 100% efficient because you will lose some of the power to heat in the transformation process, but typically speaking, it's not a lot. And I think if you have the equipment that's powerful enough, like a powerful inverter to run all your AC on the boat from that's actually a really nice solution. For venturing overseas. And
to be quite honest, if you're plugged into shore power, you don't really care about the efficiency losses because you've got basically an unlimited power supply. And the battery charger does not have to be able to keep up with the peak AC loads on the boat. All it has to be able to keep up with is the average load. So if the load goes up above what the battery charger is putting out, the inverter will suck off the batteries. And then when the load goes down and is now below what the battery charger can put out, the battery charger will recharge the batteries.
And then you can also get by with a relatively small battery charger, like 50 amps maybe even, or slightly bigger, because it just takes up your average load. And you need a pretty big inverter though, depending on what you want to run.
But the calculation for the battery charger is quite simple. You have to total up the worst case daily AC load. Let's say for argument's sake, make it easy, 24 kilowatt hours. You just divide that by 24. So then the minimum output of your battery charger needs to be a kilowatt.
Well, plus the DC
plus
loads.
the inefficiencies.
Yeah, and DC loads if you have any on your boat.
Yes.
But,
yeah.
But basically, energy calculation is something we talk a lot about in our Boat Electrics 101 course. So this is something we really recommend to take anyways. And then AC systems is something we cover in our advanced marine electrics course. So this is also something you might want to check out. So follow us on BoatHowTo.com and see you soon.